If you know anything about me, you know that I love playing single prize decks, and that's also why I've been playing a ton of Typhlosion. But Brave Bangle didn't make just Typhlosion good. It also finally lets me play Festival Lead and Dipplin to a level that's actually playable, which it hasn't been for quite a while. And one of the things with this deck that makes it so good is actually just Thwackey, and the fact that you have the Boom Boom Groove ability, which is probably one of the funniest and like best ability names that we have right now. And this is super good because it's pretty much just Pidgeot on a one prizer. That's really good. Where once during your turn, if in your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, you can just search your deck for any card you want. The best part about this is this kind of stacks. So this is also why we're running the Goldeen, because Goldeen kind of sucks. If we're going to be completely honest here, Goldeen's really bad, and Seaking is only okay. But you need a basic that you can access very quickly that'll have the Festival Lead ability, so that way you're always guaranteed to be set up, because you're not always going to be able to get your Dipplin and like your Grookeys in like synchronized perfectly, and so every so often just being able to grab your Goldeen just to have it, or evolve it into Seaking just to have it, to not only use the rapid draw attack, is sometimes it's useful, but more importantly it just always gives you a basic that you can have. One of the other things too is that we're running 4 copies of Arven, 4 copies of Iono, so that way we can just be reshuffling our opponent's hand, being really annoying, because we can't really brick off Iono since we'll have Grookey to like reshuffle. And then we want to make sure we have Arven, so that way we're getting into our TM Evos as like consistently as possible, as well as our Max Belt and our Brave Bangle, making it a little bit easier so that way we can search out our Festival Grounds with Grookey and not have to worry about grabbing the other pieces. I still play Max Belt. I did think about Secret Box for a while, but the main reason why I chose Max Belt is in this current kind of format that we're in, with like Goldango running around and all this other stuff, like you're just not doing enough damage against like Dragapult without it. So yeah, it's just pretty important still. I think Secret Box is a really good call, but just not one I felt comfortable making. But you definitely could run that instead. You could also run the neutralization zone if you really wanted to, because you're playing 4 stadiums, so you just like keep bumping their stadiums over and over, and then eventually you just drop the neutralization zone and be like really frustrating. But I preferred the Max Belt. But yeah, that's kind of it for the list. It's a pretty straightforward list overall, so you know, definitely give it a try. It'll be down in the description. Before we get into the video though, I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. Really does go a long way and means a lot, so thank you so much for that. As for everybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel, especially leaving a like on the video, so I really appreciate it. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but we are playing the Rabsca, and the reason for this is that you auto-lose to Dragapult if you don't have it, so you absolutely need this, because it also absorbs a Dusknoir hit. As well, because they're forced to target it with boss, or you know, something like that. So it's really good. So definitely, you know, at least have a 1/1. You could bump it to 2/2. I think that's kind of overkill. You could make Roller like 2 and then 2/1, so that way you can have 2 Roller down, like have this and like make it again, so that way you can just like recreate the Rabsca. I don't think you really need to do that, but you can. So it's an idea if you want to thin a line somewhere else. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into the video in just a second. I have one last shout out. I'm recording this way after the date that this happened, but I haven't recorded since, so I figured I'd do it now. I found out, or someone that I know from locals actually ended up finding my videos, and it was kind of a weird, cool experience, because I never really thought that would happen. So shout out Peter, thanks for watching the video. No idea if you'll ever see this one, but shout out for that, I appreciate it. But yeah, so everybody give a shout out to Peter in the comments. But yeah, alright, we'll get into the video, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and our opponent's going to be going first. We open Grookey and Roller, which is fine. I don't want to play the Roller down until I at least know what my opponent's playing, because it could be completely worthless and something I can Ultra Ball away. Getting double Dipplin in hand doesn't really feel great. I do have energy for attachment, though, if I top deck into Arven. We do see Hydreigon, which is actually a pretty good matchup for us. Since if we have Max Belt, we one-shot Pidgeot, as well as being able to, even with just Brave Bangle, one-shot the Dino. Or not the Dino, but the Hydreigon. Which is like kind of nice right now with like Grimmsnarl and Charizard running around all over the place. It like does make it a lot easier to play this deck, because like the grass typing has pretty good coverage right now into like a lot of stuff. Obviously, and Zoroark is another deck that's like not as common, but does still pop up, and so you're able to kind of deal with that a little bit easier as well. We'll see what my opponent does. Doesn't look like they're doing too much. Yep, they just pass. We do get an Iono. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. I'm going to grab myself double Applin. I'm going to attach here. I am going to play the Rellor just because of the fact that in reality, I do need the Rabsca if they get into Obsidian. We are able to hit our TM evolution. I will attach the Bangle here, go Evo onto the... Are we serious? Thank you. Onto the Dipplin and the Rabsca. Ooh, it's prized. Should have checked. That's on me. I could have had double Dipplin. But I also don't think my opponent's even here. But we'll see. Nope. Awesome. Oh. Never mind. Thought they weren't. I was about to be kind of annoyed. But we'll see. If they take... Okay. I was going to say, if they take the turn to, like, retreat, go Badoo, all we need is an energy. Which we did get. Gonna be a little annoying to get item locked here, but honestly, I think I'm fine to just attach energy, go boss, retreat into Dipplin, knock out Dino. I think is gonna be the play, unless they rare candy Hydreigon here. Alright, which they did not. And now we get Badoo locked, which is minorly annoying because we do have good cards here. But it's fine. We bring the Dipplin in. We're doing 60, which means we'll do 120 to this. So we get the knockout. Because right now, with being item locked and everything like that, we do just have to prevent their... We just kind of have to prevent their Hydreigon from coming out. We can go Arven on the next turn, honestly, mostly just to thin our deck. And then we'll knock out the Badoo, and then from there we'll be able to like actually get things going for ourselves. Research comes in. Because there's always the chance, too, that we just top deck into Grookey, which is, like, really good for us. Because, like, even on this upcoming turn, if we top deck Grookey, use Grookey, find Iono, use Iono to fill our bench, get, like, potentially fill our bench, get the, people to get the stadium, get 2 hits off, we'll be in a really good spot. Because then we'll probably get, like, the Rabsca out the prizes. And that would be really good for us. Obviously, being Badoo locked is, like, pretty lame, though. Itchy Pollen comes out. We take a little bit of damage. We do see Iono here, which Honestly, I feel fine doing that, because if we can find Grookey, it'll be really good. Perfect. So we find Grookey. We find another Dipplin. I'm fine attaching this, going Boom Boom Groove, and then going that just to grab our stadium. Oh, 2 are prized, jeez. So now I'm doing 60, which isn't a lot of damage, but it means that we... Okay, cool, we get another Festival Ground. It means they can't bring Dino in here unless they forget. Oh. Rough. See, that's the thing. You gotta remember. Gotta be a better TCG player. You gotta read your cards. Yep, and there comes the concede. Alright. Okay, so this is one of the things that's gonna happen when you play this deck. Your opponents are just gonna, like, not know what it does and not read. And so then you just win because of, like, dumb moments like that. So that we'll keep that in as game number 1 just because it's kind of funny. You know, classic TCG players can't read. And we'll jump into game 2 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and our opponent will be going first. We open Applin and Grookey, which is pretty good because we do get the Buddy Poffin energy. Ooh, we're up against Dracloak, or Dragapult rather, so that's actually really important that we get the Rabsca out, like, really important. So let's hope it's not prized again. We see Ultra Ball. Maractus is a problem. That's so annoying. I mean, we have Switch, so we can get around it, but it's definitely going to be a pain. We want to deal with this very quickly. Alright, so let's go for both of these. We're going to go energy down and just Iono immediately. Because if I can get myself into my TM Evo here, which unfortunately I can't, but I do get myself into Grookey. And then what I want to do here is I can play one Festival lead, go for the spray. This is really just to get the 20 damage down. So that way my do the wave will knock this out and be able to swing into something else on the bench. And I think the play here is that we go and greed off the Arven. I think we greed off the Arven, and this changes depending on our top deck. We greed to see if we can get a really good bug catching set, I think. Unless... Yeah, because we can't retreat, because I was going to say, unless we go like Ultra Ball for... Oh, alright, never mind. We will be able to retreat. They're going to get double Dragapult, though. Or Charmeleon Dragapult. I honestly don't care about the Charizard at all. Okay, and they chose not to grab that, so... Okay. Getting Dipplin here does kind of change the game. Because now I think I grab this. I Ultra Ball away this and the Air Balloon to grab myself Grookey, or sorry, grab myself Thwackey. Thwackey evolve. Use Thwackey. Find myself another Thwackey. Evolve here. And I would really love to be able to get Rabsca here. But I don't think I can afford to. I think I have to get Applin down. Because after they come in and they KO this, we're going to be in a really rough spot. And I assume, I don't know this for sure, but my assumption will be that when they evolve, it's like they're going to sack Charmeleon here. Yep. We'll get the Festival lead off. Take the KO. My assumption here is either what will happen is that they're about to go Neo Upper Energy, evolve, boss Thwackey, knock out my Rellor and the Dipplin, and then I'm just completely... I'm not completely screwed from that point, but it's definitely, it would be much harder, I would think. But if they just knock out Dipplin Rellor, things are hard but not impossible. If they don't get Dragapult Neo Upper Energy, then I'm in a phenomenal position. Okay, huge. Because now they go Jet Headbutt, take one. They can't go Rare Candy Zard on this turn. So we bring up Goldeen. We get Arven, but I don't really want that. I think we Boom Boom Groove. Grab ourselves Iono. I'm fine placing the other Applin down. Going Super Rod here. For this. Then going Iono. Hoping to hit my pieces. Honestly, this is kind of okay. I think what I do is I Boom Boom Groove here, grab the Rabsca, evolve that, go Earthen Vessel for 2 energy. Get rid of this and this. To grab myself the Seaking. Attach here. This will do enough damage to put them in range that we'll be able to kill with Applin, as well as give us pretty much a new hand, which is something we really need. And we needed to get Rabsca on board. Like, that was an absolute necessity. Flying entry is annoying, but honestly not that big of a deal. The only thing that sucks is that we didn't see Dipplin here, so we're not going to have access to... Ooh, Neo Upper on that feels rough. We don't have access to our Boom Boom Grooves guaranteed on the upcoming turn. We're going to have to Iono again. Okay, they Iono us, so this might actually end up being better for us, because we didn't have a ton of options there. This still isn't fantastic, but it's okay, because if off the Bug Catcher set, we're able to get Dipplin, our whole game opens up. And we only lose the one prize card thanks to the Rabsca, which is why we absolutely need it. Bring this in. Draw one. Unfortunately, not what we're looking for. We're really hoping off this Bug Catcher set. We do get double Dipplin. Huge. So we get to evolve for double Dipplin. Place our energy down. TM Evo onto the Thwackey just to kind of waste it. Then what we do is we Boom Boom Groove here for Iono. Yeah, that's fine. We Boom Boom Groove for Iono because we have one more access to Boom Boom Groove after for any like random extra piece that we want to get. We can hold on to Bangle. We'll go Boom Boom Groove again because we might want access to the Max Belt. What I'm going to do is actually go Night Stretcher here to Night Stretcher one more Dipplin. Place that down. And then we will attack for the 130. And attack again. And thanks to the damage we got from the Seaking earlier, we're able to guarantee that knockout. We take 2 prizes, which is the energy we need. And if they make Charizard, it's a guaranteed KO. If they make... really doesn't matter. If they make Dragapult, the only thing that could happen, like our only loss condition here, is that they KO double Dipplin in this turn, which I don't think is possible. Because of the fact that we have the Rabsca. Like, even if they were to boss one or whatever, it wouldn't make a difference. And if they make Charizard, we hit it for super effective. We do have boss in hand. Yeah, I think they're kind of stuck, unfortunately, for them. The one turn where they didn't have the one turn where they didn't have Neo Upper made such a huge difference in this game, because this matchup gets really easy if we have Rabsca. If we don't, it becomes a lot harder. Alright. Let's play the Grookey down. That'll get us our max damage, so we hit for 260. And then we swing again for another 260. Doing 520 to the Charizard, which, like I said, works out really well for us. Being able to hit Charizard for weakness is awesome. It really came down to the fact that like, them whiffing on the double turbo there was pretty bad. And then we got kind of lucky in 2 different places. Them whiffing the double turbo, or not the turbo, the Neo Upper, was pretty bad for them. And then also us getting double Dipplin off the Bug Catching set. But I was still pretty confident about that just because of like the amount we still had in deck and things like that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. 2 kind of fun games. This deck is a lot of fun, but I'm out of time to record. So these are going to be the 2 games that we have. And I will jump into the breakdown in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Going into the breakdown for Festival Lead, I think this deck is a ton of fun. It's one of my favorite things to play right now outside of like Typhlosion and a couple other decks. And it's actually a lot better than I think people would expect it to be for the kind of power that it puts out. The power is a little situational because you really want to be running into Grimmsnarl and Charizard, and if you're able to get into those matchups, you kind of one-shot everything. You also have a pretty good matchup into a lot of other decks that are like based in one prizers. Your Dragapult matchup is a little rough, but it's not actually that terrible as long as you can get the Rabsca set up. And also if they kind of whiff a little bit or they take a little bit too long to get into their Dragapult, you're able to knock out the Dracloaks pretty quickly, which is really nice. The consistency of this deck is really good as well. Since you, in this list anyway, you play 4 Arven with 2 copies of the TM Evo. So you're almost hitting that almost every single time. And then once you have that, being able to just use your Grookeys makes the game so much easier because you just Grookey spam over and over. And that just makes your deck super, super consistent. The problems with matchups is really like Dragapult, Dusknoir is really hard to get past. And then also your matchup into like Iron Hands is really rough. So like Joltik Box can be kind of annoying. Outside of that, your matchups aren't too bad. I mean, Typhlosion can be annoying, but it's actually not too bad either. Since, you know, you kind of go one prize for one prize back and forth. And so if you can set up kind of before them, but obviously getting hit for weakness is a little rough as well. Because they don't actually need to go into Typhlosion. But it's an interesting kind of situation. It's not a great matchup, but it's not terrible either. Your Goldengo matchup can be a little bit annoying, but you are only giving up one prize, so it works out. And if you have the, if you're able to use the max spell, it gets like a little bit better. And yeah, it's mostly around like bossing stuff around and stuff like that. You have to play off your Goldeen a little bit better in that matchup. So it's a little rough, but overall your matchups are like not that bad. And especially too, if you go into a room of like a bunch of Grimmsnarl, it's like pretty good actually. So yeah, that's going to be it for the breakdown, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think, and also let me know how you're playing the list, and definitely also let me know what decks you want to see in the future. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.